Hello students, how are you? You are most welcome in this next video. This is the video series of chapter number 3, Plant Kingdom. In this video, we are going to discuss about the pteridophytes. In earlier videos, we have discussed about the algae and bryophytes. If you didn't watch these videos about the algae and bryophyte, you can go to the playlist of the channel and watch from there. So dear students, now let's discuss about the pteridophytes. I want to tell you one thing that you must remember about the classification of plants. So we have classified plant kingdom into different categories. So once I want to remind you that we have classified plant kingdom into two categories, what they are, cryptogams and phanerogams. So in cryptogams, these are the plants in which what seeds are not formed. That is why they are also known as the non-seeded plant or seedless plant. Got it? So dear students, we have further divided the cryptogams into two categories, Atracheophyta and Tracheophyta. Atracheophyta we have discussed now because Atracheophyta further divided into two categories, the Thallophyta and Bryophyta. So we have discussed Thallophyta and Bryophyta because in Thallophyta we have studied about the algae, but Bryophyta we have also discussed it. Now this is the turn to discuss about the Tracheophytes. So students, this is the plant category which are the first vascular tissues bearing plants, or we can say these are the first vascular plants on the earth. So dear students, must remember it, just like bryophyte. Bryophyte was the first amphibian plant or amphibians of the plant kingdom, but here pteridophytes are the first vascular plants on the earth. Okay, first terrestrial vascular plants. So these are the first terrestrial vascular plant. That is why they have the more importance. Okay, so must remember it. 2 or 3 questions generally asked from this concept, pteridophyta. So be concentrated on the board. Let's discuss about it. Dear students, you know these are the first terrestrial plants or first terrestrial vascular plant. So that is why, dear students, you must remember about the habitat of this. Habitat: damp soil or shady area. So the habitat of this category or habitat of this type of plant is damp soil. Damp soil means wet soil or where moisture is present, or shady area where the more shades are of different plants or different things are present. So they are shady. In these shady areas, these pteridophytes are grown. So here, dear students, about habitats. Now let's discuss about the body organization. So dear students, the body organization of pteridophytes, let's discuss about it. These are the plants which are first vascular plants. So that is why their body is differentiated into true roots, true stem and true leaves. Got it? So body is divided or body is differentiated into these 3 parts: true stem, true leaves and true roots. So dear students, body is differentiated into these 3 parts. So in earlier categories we have discussed not true stem, not true leaves and not true roots are found in bryophytes, but in pteridophytes all true stem, true roots and true leaves are found. Why? Dear students, you must know the logic of it, because these categories we have discussed, algae and bryophytes, these were the earlier categories, or these were the ancient or earlier stages of the plant, or we can say simpler stages of the plant of evolution. So dear students, here at these plant categories, algae and bryophyte, the plant body is very shorter and it is in millimeter or in some centimeter. That is why these plants don't have the vascular tissue, because there is no requirement of vascular tissue. Water, minerals and food is transported through the diffusion or osmosis process. Got it? But here these plants may in size or in length about 20 meter in length, okay, just like the shrub. So these plants may longest or tallest, that is why tallest than algae and bryophyta, that is why they must require the vascular tissues, because they have to transport the water and minerals to upward direction or toward the tip of the plant. So that is why they require the vascular tissues, and also they have to transport the food in different part of the plant. So these have the vascular tissues, phloem and xylem. So that is why xylem and phloems are situated at where? Xylem and phloems are situated at where? Roots and stem. That is why root and stems, true root and true stems are found in these categories. Got it? So dear students, body is differentiated into this part and main plant body. This is most important question. The main plant body is sporophyte. Sporophyte. Got it? So main plant body is sporophyte, but in bryophyte the main plant body is gametophyte. So what is the reason? Here, dear students, the main plant body be looks or be look the plant like structure, that is the sporophyte. So it is independent plant body. It looks, this is known as the sporophyte. Got it? And the gametophyte is known as prothallus. Got it? Gametophyte is haploid, and in pteridophyte the gametophyte is known as the prothallus. Got it? So in gametophyte, in pteridophytes, so gametophyte or prothallus may of different, means male gametophyte or female gametophyte, they are separated. So male prothallus and female prothallus, they are on the basis of their reproductive organ. Got it? So this is the body size. Body size is some centimeter to 20 meter in length. Got it? So dear students, here you know body size is some centimeter to 20 meter. So I told you earlier. So this is the body organization. Dear students, now let's discuss about the what? The reproductive organs. Reproductive organs. So what are the reproductive organs? Let's discuss here. Just like bryophyte, we have discussed the reproductive organs. In bryophytes, we have discussed the antheridium and archegonium. The male reproductive part of bryophyte is known as the antheridium, and the female reproductive part is archegonium. So here also the male and female reproductive part, just like the bryophytes. So dear students, the male reproductive part antheridium and female reproductive part archegonium. So you are looking here archegonium. Okay. So now let's discuss about the reproduction. Reproduction occurs by two ways. Sorry, I make three arrows, but two ways: asexual and sexual. Asexual reproduction occurs through what? Fragmentation and here sexual reproduction by the fusion of gametes. Male, female gametes. Got it? So dear students, here you know In Anthridium, where are Anthridium are found, and Archegonium, where are Archegonias are found. So here we have discussed the sporophyte. This is the sporophyte. Sporophyte produce the spores in plants because the main plant body is sporophyte. Main plant body is sporophyte, produce the spore. These spores are haploid spores and they germinate because these spores in pteridophytes are of two different types, smaller and larger. So a smaller sporophyte is the male spore, we can say, and the larger sporophyte, it is the is known as the megaspore or the macrospore. So it is the female spore. When these two type of spores germinate to form two different type of prothallus, these prothallus may be male and female according to their spore. Okay, so these spores germinate to form prothallus, and prothallus is the gametophyte. This prothallus have or contains these Anthridium and Archegonium. So dear students, in prothallus Anthridium and Archegonium are found. Okay, so these Anthridium and Archegonium are suspended or embedded inside the prothallus. So here prothallus produce the gamete, and these gamete fuse to fertilize the zygote. This zygote is differentiated to form what? Embryo, and this embryo gets mature into the what? This embryo gets mature into the sporophyte again. So dear students, here prothallus stage, it is the stage it comes for the short time. So here we are discussing now, this is the way of the reproduction in the pteridophytes. This reproduction have asexual and sexual methods, we have discussed it. So one important thing I want to tell you that what in reproduction process, in sexual reproduction, I told just few seconds earlier that this fusion of gamete from zygote, this zygote differentiated to form embryo. So dear students, this zygote differentiated to form embryo in some pteridophytes just like Selaginella and Salvinia. Selaginella and Salvinia, these sporophytes produce what? These sporophytes produce the embryo-like structure. So this is the precursor of seed, because you all know in angiosperms we have discussed, in angiosperm seeds are formed, and gymnosperms also seeds are formed, and seed is the single embryo. So that is why embryo is formed inside it. So it is the precursor to formation of the seed. So that is why seed habit is found in pteridophytes. This is the symbol or this is the sign of advancement of the plant. Okay, because in algae there is no embryo is formed, in bryophytes also no embryo. In pteridophytes embryo is started to form, but not true embryo and not in all the members of this category. Okay, but in some, just like Selaginella and Salvinia, embryo is formed and embryo gets developed into seed. So it is a precursor or sign of formation of seed. So students must remember it. This is the question many times asked in your exam, that what seed habit is found? Seed habit. So seed habit is formed in this category. So what are the example of seed habit? Example of seed habits are these: Selaginella and Salvinia. So Selaginella and Salvinia, these are the example of seed habit. Dear students, I want to tell one thing more about it. You know, here I told that two type of spores are formed. In the sporophyte, two type of spores are formed. So here another important question asked in your exam, that is heterospory. Heterospory. So what is heterospory? Here student, you know, in bryophytes and algae, two types of spores are formed. These are similar, means there is no distinction between the male and female spores, or there is no distinction or difference between the spores. All are similar size. But here in some plants, just like Selaginella, heterospory is found, because Selaginella produce two type of spores. One is smaller in size and another one is larger in size. That is why heterospores are formed. So two different type spore. So different types of spores are formed. Okay, so this is known as the heterospory, because in most of the plants also. Here, just like algae and bryophytes, just like algae and bryophyte and pteridophyte also, in most of the plants homospore is found, because spores are formed similar in structure, similar in shape and size. But here in Selaginella and Ecosystem, these are the examples of heterospory. Here two types of spores are found, one is smaller and another one is larger. So smaller and larger, smaller one is known as the microspore, and larger one is known as the macro or megaspore. Megaspore gets developed into the female prothallus and microspore gets developed into the male prothallus. Got it? So dear student, this is known as heterospory. So here heterospory and seeds habit, these are the two most important question in pteridophytes. So very important, I am marking it. Got it? So dear students, this is all about, we are discussing now, but some things are left. Let's discuss about. Dear students, you know what is the life cycle, or how life cycle is formed in this type of category? Do you know? Just like bryophyte, haplodiploidic or diplohaplontic. So haplodiploidic or diplohaplontic life cycle is found in the pteridophytes. Okay, how? Let's discuss here. Dear students, first, sporophyte is the main plant body. So sporophyte produce spore. These spore are haploid spore, haploid microspore and haploid megaspore. So these two type of spores gets fertilized or gets germinate to form. Germination takes place, and after germination they produce two type of prothallus. This one is haploid megaspore. This forms what? This haploid megaspore forms female prothallus, and this forms the male prothallus. So male and female prothallus, these are two types of prothallus. These form two type of gamete. What? Female prothallus have the archegonia. Archegonia produce egg, and this one is the male prothallus. Male prothallus produce the antheridium, and this antheridium have what? Antherozoid. So these antherozoid and egg, they gets fertilized. Here you are looking, these fertilized, fusion, and after fusion they form what? They form zygote. Zygote gets differentiated in embryo, and this embryo gets developed into sporophyte. So this is the life cycle of what? Life cycle of pteridophyte. So dear students, this is the life cycle of pteridophyte. So now the economic importance of the pteridophytes is left. Dear students, what is the economic importance? The pteridophytes, some pteridophytes are used as the food and fodder for animals and human also. So dear students, here these pteridophytes, some pteridophytes have some the costly and precious elements just like the gold and silica. So in ecosystem, some gold is found, and traces of golds are recovered from the ecosystem. So here you can say these are the very important, as they have the very important and the costly elements, okay, we cannot extract out from the ecosystem because it is in very low quantity. So that is why otherwise we all will be rich after collecting these ecosystem, okay, but it is very good for health, okay. So that is why it is used as the food material. You know, in Assam area we eat the leafy vegetable. This is known as the dekia. So dekia is the pteridophyte, and this is the example of what? Fern, Dryopteris. So fern, Dryopteris, it is the example of pteridophyte. What are the example? Let's discuss here. These are the example I am writing here. So Selaginella and Equisetum. Selaginella we have, Selaginella and Salvinia we have discussed. Now I am writing here Equisetum. Equisetum. So this is the Equisetum and Dryopteris. Dryopteris. Okay, Equisetum and Dryopteris. Dryopteris, it is the advanced fern, okay, and it may be in the height of 20 meter, I told you earlier, okay. So this is Dryopteris and Equisetum. These are the example. Equisetum has the gold, okay. So here, dear students, in that time I have told you that there are 4 category of pteridophytes. What they are? I told you the Xylotum and Lycopsida, Xylopsida, Lycopsida, Spinopsida and Dryopsida, okay, Pteropsida. So here these are 4 category we have discussed earlier in the classification at that time, first video. So here this is the Xylopsida, second one is the Lycopsida, and next one is the Xylopsida, Lycopsida and Spinopsida, and last one is the Dryopsida or Pteropsida. So these are the different 4 categories of pteridophytes, because Pteridophyta is the division and these are the classes of this Pteridophyta. So Xylopsida, it is the another class. It has the example just like Xylotum, and Lycopsida, it has the just like example Selaginella, Spinopsida just like the Equisetum, and Pteropsida has the advanced category or advanced class of the Pteridophyta. It has the plants like Dryopteris and fern, okay. So ferns you are looking in surrounding in Assam areas and hilly stations also contains this type of plant, okay. So this is all about the pteridophytes. I think you are understanding well. If you have any query, any doubt, so you can ask me on the personal WhatsApp number and also can comment me in comment box on this video. So dear students, this is about the Pteridophyta. So it's enough for today. Thank you for watching this video. Students, if you are liking, then you should share this channel among your friends and also subscribe it. Thank you.